and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm back to working on my plant painting that was gifted to me. I've decided to keep going with the green. I can't not use the green tray and a green pen with this one, so I have switched up to a metal pen, though I have put a new glue dot in it, so it might take me a little bit to sort of get it fully primed and ready to go. But yeah, I thought I'll work on this one for a bit. I keep flipping between paintings at the moment. I'm doing quite a lot of flipping between paintings. I do have a big one on the go at the moment. The preparation video for that is due up this week. I've not done a lot of it, but I've done a little bit of it. I also have some Paint Gem minis on the go. I've got the mandala version, which of course you guys have seen. I also have a couple of other sets that I've kitted up that the videos are coming in the next week or so. So they will be upcoming videos. I've actually got the new ones. There will be an unboxing video of that tomorrow. I'm itching to get those open and have a good look at them. But the videos for the upcoming kitting up ones, I didn't, at the time I filmed them, I didn't know there was new ones coming out, and I didn't have the new ones, but I do now. So there will be an unboxing of those to show you what they all look like. Just fighting with drills at the moment because my glue dot is not fully primed, so it takes me a little bit more to sort of get them in the right place. Yeah, so there is an unboxing of the new Paint Gem minis to come up, but there is a couple of kitting ups of some other Paint Gem minis because I like to have all my Paint Gem mini boxes full. But what I've been doing recently is trying to do, it doesn't always work. If I don't have a day of diamond painting, it doesn't work. But I've been trying to do a Paint Gem mini, just the one, before I start diamond painting on my big one for the evening. But of course I also have this one as well. So I think I'm going to do or focus a little bit more on this in the next coming week or so to get this one finished up. But I might alternate between this one and the big one I've kitted up. But yeah, I've been trying to do a Paint Gem mini before starting on the rest of the diamond paintings because I have so many mini kits and I feel like they're growing quicker than I can complete them. So I might be, and I really enjoy doing them, so I might be able to get through a few more doing it that way. I've not done very well on my Heaven and Earth design this last week. It's been a very busy week getting everything prepped ready for launch, getting as many, all the items ready for that, the photographs, the listings, all that sort of behind the scenes stuff, as well as of course orders. So it's been a busy week. I actually don't know if I have done any Heaven and Earth design between the last video and what will be my next WIP and Chat. But yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. I'm still on track to get it done for 2023, and that's the main thing. If I can get it done by the end of July 2023, I will be happy. That's my main goal for the moment, is to get it done by then. But I hope everybody's had a good week. I am filming this on Sunday morning because I was going to film it yesterday, and then I decided that I couldn't miss the King's coronation. So I did watch the coronation of the King yesterday. There is other things, I think, going on this sort of long weekend. It is a bank holiday here on Monday, so all orders will go out on Tuesday. And we've also been doing a little bit of work, or will be doing a little bit more work in the kitchen later today, just to finish up the tiling. So there's just a little bit more tiling to do. Sorry, the tiles are up, a little bit more grouting to do. And then it all needs to be sort of sealed in around the worktops. And there's a couple of places that just need a touch up of paint. That hopefully we're going to get done today, along with a little bit in the garden, because tomorrow the rain comes back. So we've been doing a little bit every now and then when we can, according to the rain. So busy day today, and I'll probably do my unboxing videos and my other WIP and Chats and stuff tomorrow when it's raining. But yeah, that has pretty much been our week. The new stickers and covers are up for the Paint Gem minis, and the display books, etc. are all coming on launch on Friday. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a busy weekend next weekend, but it's all good. Okay, comments, questions. We did have a long comment, was the only comment left when I finished the WIP and Chat last week. But it is from Marwi. She says, hi Rebecca. She says, on the topic of weather and power outages, she says she has quite the story for us. She said a couple of days ago, Norway was hit with a very heavy snowfall. Oh my goodness me. She says after all the snow from winter had melted and most of the people had put their summer tyres on, she said she didn't because she was expecting the snow. She said, let me tell you. She said, even with my winter tyres on, she said she didn't stand a chance against the snow. There was more than 20 centimetres of snow, and if you think this whole canvas is 30 centimetres across, so 20 centimetres worth of snow when she tried to leave for work. And she said she was literally ploughing out her driveway with the front of her car. She said she didn't have a chance to make it up the road. She said that was ploughed. She said so she called their snowplow guy and he said he'd be there in a couple of hours. She said she parked her car in the garage to save it from the snow while she was waiting. She said, and then the power went out because apparently the snow had caused trees to fall on the power lines. She said once the drive got ploughed, she said without any power, she couldn't get her electric garage door to open, and the power was gone for a good 6 hours. She said, let me tell you, she said she was not a happy camper. I can imagine. It's like you've just been hit with one thing after another. She said, but she has never had a better excuse to stay at home from work and diamond paint. Well, yes, at least the power outage happened in the daytime, so you could just diamond paint anyway. But yeah, it's so frustrating when you are ready for the day and you just get hit by obstacles that you just can't do anything about. But who wants snow in May? Somebody not told the snow that it's May, and then it needs to back up. It needs to back up and back off is what it needs to do. Yeah, I could not be doing with snow in May. It's bad enough that we have enough rain at the moment, but I suppose us Brits are used to that. We definitely haven't had the spring that we've had in past years. There has been borderline summer. But I suppose it is only May. It's not yet summer, so maybe the nicer weather will join us later. Who knows? I just know it's not been for a while. Cat lady. Oh, here we go. These, I say here we go. As soon as I commented on last week's video about what a bread roll may be called in the UK, I knew full well there would be a lot more answers on what it's called. There are so many names for a bread roll. But the cat lady says in Wales it was a roll, or a cob was a round loaf. She said in Lancashire it was a barm cake or an oven bottom. I don't remember hearing of an oven bottom. I like it though. She said now in Yorkshire it's a roll or a flour cake. She said it differs vastly where you are in the country. She said Amazon do have both permanent and repositionable 6mm refills for the Xyron sticker maker. She said but their repositionable is $13.95. Wow. Trying to get hold of adhesive for that sticker maker is so hard. I mean, I do find I don't use it as much as maybe I used to. Maybe I just don't have many diamond paintings in my stash at the moment that have an inventory sheet but no sticker sheet. A lot of the bigger companies seem to be providing stickers with their diamond paintings now, which definitely sort of takes the need for it away a little bit more. I still do have some in my stash that need them, but I definitely find I'm not using it as much as I used to, and it sounds like that's a good thing. Okay, that one's managed to drop on my canvas, and trying to pick it up I've managed to move it to the right place. Say I need to prime this glue dot. I keep dabbing it to prime it quite a bit, but I might need to trim a little bit off. It's sticking out just a little bit. I have trimmed some off, and I know full well once I've used it for a bit I'll need to put more glue dot in. But let's just trim it again and see if that helps me to actually get through some of this section. We're getting there. Okay. I just feel like I'm not quite able to place them in exactly the right place I need to. But the plus symbol is done. So let's change over. I'm starting with what's sort of here, a bit like I did last time. I'm going through most of the greens, or in this case, the really dark green. Get some of those in. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes that you had a good wedding. She said dynamic floral is looking good. Thank you. Yeah, dynamic floral is all finished, which is amazing. Feels so good to have that one done. I feel like I've been doing that one for quite a while. But yes, the wedding was good. Thank you. It was a friend of ours that we've known since being teenagers. And it was good to catch up with quite a few other people that we've known as teenagers, but then of course got married, had kids and not met up as much, so it was a nice catch up. It's good to be seeing how everyone was doing, and hopefully now a lot of the kids are a lot older, it won't be as long before we meet up again. Kim says, as always, she says it looks beautiful. She said she mainly does each letter or number until they're done. I definitely find I go for that more so near the end of a painting when I'm on the last section. I don't like to do it on a full painting, just because I find like I can't quite tell where I'm getting up to. I do it on special paintings or on partials. And of course I do it on the Paint Gem Minis because they're so small. But I find I can't do it on a full 30 by 40. This painting, with it being quite a lot of white background, is something that I may have attempted it on, but I probably would have done all the white first. But I am enjoying sort of building this one up. But I do tend to pull off the full section strip so that I'm not pulling out a few greens and then having to pull them out for the green over the other side. I find it's working quite well doing the strips this way at the moment. And I'm on the third one, so I'm on my middle strip, and then I've got 2 more at the top. Rebecca, she says she thinks I may have missed a J on the dynamic floral on the left side of the section. I did, thank you very much. I did fill in that missing letter J. It's actually still down here, dynamic floral. I will get it de-kitted soon, but I have a few other things in my schedule that I need to do first, so it's just sat in here waiting for that video, but I will get that de-kitted. I think I've got it scheduled for near the end of May, because yeah, I've actually got through a few paintings, but I think I'm actually kitting up quite a few, with me needing to kit up the rest of my mini sets and things like that. Oh, we've got a lovely comment that I can't see, so let me pull it up on YouTube. Lady Dax, she says, I hope this one of my comments shows up. No, it didn't show up, but I have now found a way to bring it up. I actually have to go to the individual video on YouTube, but I have found a way to make the comments that don't show for me. It's really annoying. I do really hope that they fix it soon, because it's kind of driving me a little bit up the wall, but we'll get there. She says she thinks it's people from Birmingham that call a roll a cob. She says that is a stunning painting. But she does say she thinks that many crystals would drive her mad. That many crystals wasn't my favourite. It does look good. It is nice to have done one. But it's not my favourite type either. Also, I did a mini painting. It was actually from a company that's not about anymore. It was from Row Diamonds. I did a small painting that was all AB diamonds, and while it was nice to do, I wasn't keen on that one either. I prefer a scattering. She says she's really looking forward to the launch of the tray storage. She says she has revamped her area in preparation. She said, but is it possible to have the measurements of it just to make sure? Yes, I will measure the sample one that we have. I think I got tagged in a comment on Facebook actually. But it's one of those, when I get tagged on it and click on it, If I'm not able to measure it at that exact time, which I wasn't, I then tend to forget that it's there because the notification has disappeared. So I will leave your comments without a reaction until I've replied to your Facebook message, to your Facebook post, sorry, asking for the measurements. And that will then prompt me to do it. But I actually need to empty that tray storage because next Saturday's video, which I need to do tomorrow, is the kitting up of my June waffle painting. I will be kitting that one up, which is the ribbon from Diamond Art Studio, and I am using trays to kit it up with. It's the first time I've ever kit up using trays, so it might be a bit of a what am I doing with myself kind of video while I figure out how is the best way for me to kit up using trays and using the storage of trays. And then I need to find a safe place to keep all my numbered trays ready for the beginning of June waffle, and we'll see if it makes it quicker for me. I'm kind of hoping it will, because it's a big painting for June waffle. But yeah, that's a fun kitting up video that I've yet to do. So yeah, I will let you know. Okay, got another one that I can't see. So it's Baxter. She said that turned out beautifully. She said she started having an issue with her thumb last month. She said every time she would pick up a diamond painting pen or a regular pen, she would get a sharp pain shooting up to her elbow. She said a bit like an electric shock. She said she tried many pens. She said the thick ones were worse and the heavy pens were worse. She said even the standard pens with the squishy, she says were bad. She said she saw another YouTuber say that our wooden pens that we sell were her favourite, so she ordered 2. She said hallelujah, she said no pain with them, and she's back to diamond painting. That's awesome. She said she did actually think that it was all over for her. She said thank you for all that you do, and that's from Becky. Oh, I'm so happy that they worked for you. I do suggest seeing if you can get it looked at, of course. See if there is something that you can do to help it. Sounds like some sort of repetitive strain injury type thing, but it could be something else. I am no medical doctor. But maybe you can get some sort of wrist support or something for it. I know I did have a period of time where my sort of thumb hand, I think it was a mixture of the preparation stuff for the shop that I was doing a lot of, along with diamond painting. I must have been using the same muscle for both. So it was like I was using the same muscles all day. And my hand did play up for a bit, and I know I got a support, which seemed to helped it calm itself right down. So yeah, see if you can get something to help you with that. But I'm so happy that the wooden pens work for you. They have got, you know, the thickness that you might need. There's a couple of different thicknesses within it, depending on where you hold the pen, which can help. And they're really, really light, which I think is another big factor. You've not got the weight of it being a pain. Liz says, hi Rebecca. She says, you forgot the most important term for a bread roll. She says, being in Yorkshire, it's called a bread cake. And she's, as far as she's concerned, she says that's the correct term. See, I had one parent born in Lancashire, one parent born in Yorkshire. and originally grew up in the south of the country, with my teenage years in the north and the northwest. So I don't quite know what I've managed to pick up and stick with, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely knew there was more. It's just remembering what they are when you don't use them all the time. She says, dynamic floral looks lovely. She says, and she can't wait for the mint green tray. She said, but she suspects it will have to go on hold when she sees the new shop items on Saturday's launch video. Well, the mint green tray is a stock item, so that is always something that you can come back to or pop on your wish list. I've actually popped a few new categories in the shop to try and help people. So do let me know if you think there's any that are missing. But we do have a section now that confirms what is sort of limited edition. And when the stock's gone, the sort of stock's gone for a good while, if not forever. So, for example, the diamond paintings are in there because when the stock's gone, who knows if and when we will be restocking them. It took a year and a half for Zesty Wolf to come back. But yeah, so there is a limited edition section now in the shop, so you know what's limited. And then I have popped in a few other categories like things for kitting up. We've got a spare storage category, which we always had. I've added a bundles category, and there's another category that I've added. What was the other category that I added? A logbook category. So there is a logbook category and now a paint gem category as well. Just in case you're looking for specific things, you should be able to find them all in one place. But yeah, let me know if there's any sort of categories that I'm missing. Trying not to do too many, but I'm trying to make it easy for people to find what they want, especially if they're on mobile. I find it can be a bit harder to find what you want. Though, scrolling through gives you the idea of other stuff, so it's not a bad thing. She said have a lovely week, and she says she's hoping for dry days so that she can paint their new pergola and the decking next bank holiday, which will be this weekend. So I don't know, I mean, it depends on what part of the country you're in. But today, Sunday, is the only dry day that we're seeing as having, which is why I'm doing this video, and then we are getting to things like cleaning up the garden, and painting the kitchen. So I'll be touching up paint in the kitchen. It's already been painted, but touching up bits that need it in the kitchen and painting the windowsill before the tiles get sealed in. And I think the hubby is planning on jet washing the back patio where the tile cutting was done, so getting that all cleaned up and sealed and getting a few weeds up. We have our front garden is sort of a path and stone or slate, but of course there's still a few stubborn little weeds. But yeah, so glad we got rid of that lawn last year because the front garden looked diabolical. But it looks really good now. So yeah, we're hoping to get that done today while it's nice. I think I'll be painting while hubby's jet washing because Luna doesn't like it. She doesn't like the jet wash. She can stay with me while I paint. Okay, have I got all of those? I think I have. We'll go with yes. A few of these diamonds have got extra little flat bits on that get them stuck in my tray. Let me get my next colour and then we'll see if YouTube will let me read the next comment. So, Mysterious Days, she says, good news, she is getting better. She said she did have to go to the doctors and get antibiotics, but she's good to go back to work tomorrow with only minimal symptoms. Woohoo! So glad you're feeling better. It's not right when you feel rough, especially because they're normally the days you want to be productive but can't. She says she feels the April showers. She says it's either been cloudy or rainy with only hints of sunshine. She says, but Bella lays in front of her window the second it pops out. She says she does like the rain though. She says it's comforting. She said it's only a bit annoying. She says since she got an elderly woman who lives with her into diamond painting, and she's pretty much taken over my light pad, she said. I think you need to get yourself another light pad, my dear. She says she's had to use her LED lights to avoid the dreaded yellow overhead lighting. She said must be my my neurodivergent showing. We've actually got most of our lights in our house now, even if we don't use them for their original intention, is Wi-Fi bulbs or like smart bulbs. Sorry about that. I obviously didn't put my good battery in. So sorry, yeah, most of our bulbs in our house now, we use the smart bulbs. And even if we don't use the likes of Alexa to turn them on or off, I've got the smart bulbs purely because you can turn the multicoloured ones and you can tell them to be bright white instead of yellow. So all of the bulbs in my house have been set to be bright white. Whether we use the switches or not, they have a smart bulb because they can be bright white. I don't like the yellow light either. I much prefer bright white. I find it's a lot more like daylight. And a lamp that we recently got, hubby was able to also find a bulb that was bright white or a daylight type bulb. Much prefer them. Mysterious Days also says, she says recently too she has become overwhelmed with the amount of WIPs that she has in work, so she's trying to work through some of the 12 by 16s at work. She says since she's a nanny currently and he's 3, she said so she can afford a little bit of diamond painting time. She's finished the butterflies and flowers, and she started one of Diamond Art Club's iconic dragon pieces. Oh, let me get that in. Where was I? I've lost myself. Oh, the Moonlight Bath is what it was called. I thought I was nearly at the end of her paragraph. So yeah, she started working on that one. She says she loved the outcome of the piece. She's deciding she's doing a piece called Pride by Sophia Lazo by Diamond Art Club, which was a limited edition and no longer available, but she's going to do that one for the June WIP and Waffle. She says great for Pride Month, and it's a smaller size. Though she is considering getting the Alzheimer's piece, as her father had Alzheimer's before he passed. Yeah, I think the charity ribbon ones do affect, I think I've said this before, they do resonate with a lot of people, especially the 2 charities that have been chosen for these editions. I think it's worked. It's been good charities to choose, though there are many charities that are worth it, but definitely off to a very good start with the 2 that they've chosen. and I am really looking forward to working on it. I haven't worked on a Splatterworks for a while as well, and I've got quite a few. I need to get back to my decision wheel choosing for me, but I have this list of paintings that I want to do first. When I get back to the decision wheel, then yeah, I'd be very excited if a Splatterworks was one of the ones chosen. Melissa, she says, a very sparkly. She did say in Kent they're called a chip roll or a bacon roll. A chip or bacon sandwich is a chip or bacon butty. So yeah, sandwich is not to be confused with roll. Sandwich, bread, just using bread, no form of roll, tends to be a sandwich of some sort. Though I would call it a bacon butty whether it's in a roll or not, probably. But I am weird like that. Laura, she says her eyesight isn't the best. So she always has 2 trays on hand. A lighter colour one and a dark grey one. Both from your lovely self. She says she finds the dark grey easier to see the lighter coloured drills. Contrast is always good. If you do have trouble with your eyes, or you just want that extra little bit of help to see things clearer, then yeah, it definitely can help to have a darker tray and a lighter tray. In, of course, your favourite pretty colours. I like it when they match like this with a painting. I don't know, it just gives it that extra little bit of fun when all I can see is different shades of green. Elizabeth, she says, good morning, Rebecca. She says she loves the canvas. She says she loves my WIP Chats. It's cloudy where she is in Los Angeles. 20% chance of rain, she said, and there was lots of rain for Wednesday. She said, interestingly, she said here in the States, it depends where on what terms you use. She says, so here in South Carolina, off-ramps and on-ramps are called what she just said, so off-ramps and on-ramps. In San Francisco, they're called off-pads and on-pads. In New York and New Jersey, if you say pie, they think that you're talking about pizza. I've never quite got that, calling a pizza a pie. I've never sort of got why they do that. Pie has a crust on top. Anyway, she says here in California, she said it's called going off to the beach. On the East Coast, it's called going to the shore. She said we call bun biscuits if they're served with a meal. Oh, they call buns biscuits if they're served with a meal. If not, they're just called buns. Oh my goodness me. No wonder none of us can understand sometimes what other people are saying. She said to spell anything, she says she must pronounce the word how you Brits pronounce the word. She says she does this because spelling isn't her thing. Everything gets spelt differently here anyway, I think. It doesn't always spell how it sounds. And of course there are many words that sound the same but are spelt different. She said happy belated birthday. She said she hopes it was a wonderful one. She said she visited the UK with a friend and her sister in 1985 for 6 weeks. She said she had a great time. She said have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It is really interesting what people call different things. And yeah, some of them just don't make sense to me, and some of them really do. There are some words that it's like, okay, yeah, that actually makes sense. But yeah, I suppose we wouldn't be ourselves and unique if we weren't different. Janine, she says, after a few disappointing Amazon purchases, she said she won't buy a painting anymore without being able to see the rendering of the painting. She says there have been a few Diamond Art Club that she has loved the original art, but has only been a bit meh over the rendering. Which, yeah, I get. There has been a few that I've been a bit on the rendering. Ooh. And I don't think they've done a bad job on the rendering. It's not that I think they could have done better. I just think that the way the art has been done, once it's rendered, it just loses what sparked for me in the first place. And I think it depends on how you viewed the artwork and what part has sparked for you in the first place as to whether the rendering looks good or not. And that varies from person to person. Got another one I can't see. Let's pull this one up. It's Laurie. She says, good evening, Rebecca. She says, so many things to say today. And this is why it wasn't showing up for me. She says, thanks for the suggestion of ironing the pillowcases, she says, with a scented spray. She says she remembers seeing a linen spray for ironing, so she will see if she can find some soon. Sounds very nice. I love the idea. I love the smell of linen, cotton, lemon. They're my go-to smells for around the house. I feel like they smell clean. I think that's why I like them. I like the clean smells. She says differences in words. Laurie said when she went to Edinburgh one time, she said she was at the Christmas market, which was fabulous, and wanted to get something to eat. She said she asked for a hot dog and chips, and the men said he didn't have chips. She said she could see them, but he insisted he didn't have them. She said after several minutes, she said, of discussion, she finally asked about those things in the bags above his head, and he said that they were crisps. Yes, they definitely are crisps. And I wouldn't put hot dog and crisps together as something that would be asked for to realise that you were using a different word. It's not something that I club together. Yeah, if you'd asked for a packet of chips, like that may have triggered him to realise you meant crisps. But a hot dog with crisps wouldn't have made sense to me. But I love how it's, you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? That you're just so used to the words you're used to. She said she learnt that one very well and will not forget it. She said at the same market but a different night, she said she wanted some chips with cheese on them. Very good choice, chips and cheese. Now here in the US, she says that cheese would be creamy dreamy. She says, imagine my shock, she says, when she got great shredded cheese, or grated as we call it, which all fell off her chips. She says that was another valuable lesson. Yeah, we might not do cheesy chips the best. It depends on where you go. You can get some really nice cheesy chips that are a bit more like what you were expecting. But that varies from place to place. She said later that night, she said she did smell something really nice. And she found chips with curry sauce. That was yummy. Yes, chips with curry sauce or chips with gravy. And if they do the gravy, the best. It's trying to find the good gravy, and not as many places do it now as used to. But if you can find them where they do the gravy with onion and mushrooms in it, chips and gravy is divine. She said again in Edinburgh, she said she found the best coffee in the train station. Asked for a black coffee with room for cream. The barista gave her a very weird look and asked how I wanted the end product to look. White, please. So she then gave me the proper term of white coffee. Yeah, and cream isn't necessarily a popular thing to add to coffee here. It tends to be milk, more so than cream. You can get cream, but it tends to be more milk than cream. She says, while in Edinburgh, she says she finally found use for all the slangs that she learnt on Keeping Up Appearances. She said in the train station, she found bacon booties and asked for it correctly. Awesome. Train station in Edinburgh is huge as well. It's really, really big. She says, as for her yearly hospital visits, she said she thinks she will head over to the UK. As she saw in the Barnsley Hospital that they serve buttered toast and coffee in a real mug while you're waiting in A&E. Well, that's probably the only A&E that does, so don't think you can go anywhere, because I've never been served toast and coffee in a real mug in an A&E ever. She said in a local hospital, she said you don't get anything to drink, which means that she might make some toast and coffee before she leaves home. If she should have to pay them a visit in 2023. For us, you'll be lucky if you get vending machine. She said, as for those dumb hospital gowns, she said she did ask if she could wear her own jammies, and she wasn't allowed because she has IVs in both arms. She says another good reason not to get cellulitis this year. Maybe just slip on the pants. Maybe just slip on a pair of shorts or pants. Maybe make you feel a bit better. She says, last but not least, she says, thanks for all your thoughts and prayers. She said, it's very hard for me to ask for help, let alone prayers, she says, but she feels she has the very best group of friends here and appreciate you all very much. Oh, thank you, Laurie. Well, ask away, because we are all more than happy to help. She says, and last but not least, she says, happy belated birthday. She says she hopes this year is filled with awe and wonder and success. She says, but most importantly, peace and love. Oh, thank you, Laurie. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip to Edinburgh, or, you know, at least a part of the UK. But yeah, language-wise, I don't think anybody gets it right all the time anywhere. It takes a bit to figure out what people call things that are a little bit different. It's definitely entertaining anyway. Carpe Diem, she says, I don't know how you finish the paintings so quickly. She said she is finishing a few WIPs, then she is going back to her massive 125 by 130, that is big. She says 269 colours, threadbare pattern. She says from a picture she uploaded of the Untamed duo, Wei Ying and Lan San. Probably hashed how I've said that, so apologies. She says she's desperate to get back to it, and the use of their own style pattern keeper app. Ooh, well, why don't you mix it up if you're really itching to get back to it, and do a little section of a WIP and then do a bigger section of that one, or a small section of that one, depending on how long it takes you. Because I know it takes me an eternity with mine, with 239 colours. And then mine 269. Yeah, try mixing it up. Make sure that you do the ones that you love as much as you do the ones that you enjoy but aren't loving, is probably the best way to describe it. Okay, next colour. Don't know how far I'm going to get on this. I'm going to see how many comments I can get through. But it is getting close to me needing to go and get some things done around the house. KFDM's also said, she says, what about a bread cake? Bread cake is another one. See, there's just so many things you can name one item. A bread roll, and there is so many things it can be named. And let's not even get into the different things that they're called depending on how they're baked or coated or whatever else. That's not even getting onto the official names. That's just getting onto the names us Brits give them. Anne-Marie says, was it Wilson's 3D Designs? Yes, it was, Anne-Marie. So it was 3D Designs was the tray that I used to use. Wilson's 3D Designs. I think they're on Etsy. That was the tray I used to use before we designed this one. And then I've used these ever since. Okay, sorry, I'm now scrolling through a few Heaven and Earth design comments. So I must be nearly at the end of comments. But Christina, she says, something she's wondered for quite a while. She says now is what the release papers are even for. She says because she can't quite see the use of them over the normal cover, which you can also cut a section off if you want to. So yeah, the release papers aren't a have to. However, it depends on how your brain works or how you are. So I prefer to use release papers. I know you can cut a section off the sort of top cover paper and the clear cover paper. Depending on where you get it from and how thick that cover paper is, can depend on how easy it is to cut a section out. But the reason I use cover paper or release paper, whatever you want to call it, is because of the fact that it is opaque. That's the reason I use it. Because otherwise, if I start using it with the clear, I know what I'm like, and I will be like, oh, there's just a couple more of this symbol up here, and I'll just peel it back and pop on those couple. And then I'll go to the next one, it'll be like, oh yeah, but there's just a couple up here. And before I know it, I have wandered all over different sections of the painting. And then my brain does this thing where it sort of goes, oh, what am I doing? Everything looks a little bit chaotic, and I have to sort of rein myself back to fill in gaps. But then I can get annoyed by the fact that I've got bits up there and there's bits that I can see that need doing, and you know, oh, I could just put that there and I could just put that there, and then I get frustrated when I end up with a really big section with lots of gaps in it that all sort of need filling up and no order to it. So the reason I use the cover paper and the release paper is so that it hides those symbols. Now, don't get me wrong, you can see them slightly through it. If you have a light pad on, you can sort of work out what the symbols are quite often, depending on, you know, how much of a contrast the symbols are or how clear they are. But it is enough for me and for my brain to block that out and say, nope, I am doing this section. I'm doing what I can see. And that works better for me. If I have the clear cover paper, I will peel back a section or cut off a section, and before you know it, I'm peeling back a little bit more and a little bit more, and yeah, it just gets chaotic. It just gets absolute madness for me, and my brain doesn't cope very well with that at all. Yeah, just doesn't work for me. So that's why I use it. I don't know if others do it for the same reason or just because the sections are easier, but they're reusable. So it's not like you're buying cover paper or release paper for one painting and then never getting to use it again. It is something that you can use repeatedly. So for my brain, it's worth getting a pack of release paper and sectioning off the paintings as I go. Keeps me calm, keeps my mind calm. Michelle, she says, hello Rebecca from Kansas, USA. She says she's getting caught up on my WIP and Waffles, and I have inspired her to purchase the dynamic floral painting. She says she got it off Amazon, she said, and it's so pretty. She's glad that she watched me finish it. She says she loves listening to the WIP and Waffles. She says you only have positive things to say, and I've always encouraging things, she says, to say to your viewers. She says she's very curious to know more about the advent calendar. She said it sounds interesting. She says thanks and hugs. Thanks for your WIP and Waffles, she says hugs. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I think there's enough negativity in many people's lives, and enough negative things that can happen. That's why bring more. Diamond painting is relaxing and fun. It's a time to try and forget the negative parts. But the advent calendar, it is something we did last year that was much more of a hit than we ever thought it would be. But we have done a sort of a phrase we use called go big or go home for this year. So we have decided to do more than we think we will sell, even based on last year's sales. So last year, if we include the 12-day advent, which we brought out a selection of, and then we also did a pre-order for and got together as many as we could in a short space of time. So if you add those plus our 24-day advent calendar, we must have sold between 250 and 300 of them. So this year we have decided to pretty much double that amount of stock to get in, so that everybody can get what they want. So I've been beavering away. We've got some really exciting things in this year's one as well. But basically our advent calendar is primarily diamond painting goodies. There is the odd couple of things that are a little bit different, but most of it is diamond painting goodies, accessories, and this year diamond painting is included in that. But yeah, it is 24 items, and so far we think we're going to do it the same as last year. So they will be in a little brown bag, labelled up with each day of the month from the 1st to the 24th of December. And the idea is that you open one a day and get yourself a little diamond painting goodie treat for your countdown to Christmas. So yeah, we've been beavering away. There's still a few more bits that need to come in. They're mainly the bits that we've had to order and design for the purpose of the calendar. But yeah, the advent calendar is going to be big this year. It's going to be, I think I really love all the items in it, but yeah, there is going to be 24 different items in it. Say primarily, most of them are diamond painted related. It's going to be a lot cheaper than what the RRP would be, but it gives you a chance to treat yourself to a diamond painting goodie each day throughout the month of December, if you can be good enough to open them one a day. There are some that like to open them all at once. There are some that can't wait and open them as soon as they get them. But yeah, we have done a lot for this year. We think we may release them in sections. We're not exactly sure yet, but we may release some in September and then some more in October. Because, yeah, that amount of orders for the diamond painting calendar, and in turn our diamond painting for December Advent, keep us extremely busy. So we may have to release them in sort of sections to allow us to be able to get the orders out as quick as we like to and not get people waiting too long, because it's always our big month. But yeah, we'll get those finalised and let you all know. But that's our thoughts at the moment, is to sort of release them in dribs and drabs throughout September, October, so that people can still be able to get them, and there will be, you know, more released or dropped onto the site as the month or two goes on, but it will give us chance to get orders out in a timely manner from people paying for them. But yeah, that's our advent calendar. I can't wait for it. Jordan, she said she had a good laugh when you were talking about how you can see the painting without your glasses. So yeah, I have got new glasses now, which do make it fairly easy to see. But I still can see it clearer without them on. She says, because you are nearsighted. So yeah, I'm short-sighted. I'm not sure if that's classed. Yeah, that is nearsighted. She says she's also nearsighted. She says, but her eyes are horrible. She says she told herself maybe that she should give that a go. So she took her glasses off and realised that she cannot see the painting while she was just sitting. She said she would have had to get that close to the painting that her nose was touching it. She says she guessed that's what she gets for being a -8 and a -6 prescription. Oh, I forgot that one. Do that one in a minute. She says, to be honest, she says her sister, who works at an eye doctor's, says that she is almost classed as legally blind. Crazy, she says, but she guesses that is life. She says, hope you're all doing well. She says, and yes, she is so far behind that by the time you get to this, she said it may already be mid-May or even June. Well, I've got to your comment within, it says it was posted 13 hours ago, but we shall see how long it takes for you to get my response, for you to be able to hear my response to you. Maybe that'll take a little bit. Depends on how much diamond painting time you get, I guess. Have we got any more? I think that's it. I think I have got all the comments on the WIP Chats. Yes, I've just got that one of Lady Dax left so that I do those measurements for her. So I'm just going to pop these ones on here, and I will leave the white. I will do that later on this evening, probably when I am sitting down after getting a few house bits done. But I'll get the last of this colour done. But I hope you are all having an amazing Sunday. And for those in the UK, enjoying our extra little bank holiday. We actually have 3 bank holidays in June. We normally have 2. We normally have one at the beginning of May and one at the end of May. But we have an extra one due to the coronation. And that's what this Monday one is. So all orders will be in the post on Tuesday when my collections are back. But yeah, there's actually an extra video going up this week. Normally I do 5 videos a week. There's actually 6 this week because I am squeezing in the Paint Gem mini sets tomorrow because I'm eager to show you them. And there is also a video on my other channel, Add More Zest with Diamonds. So there is a video going up a day across the 2 of them. But next Saturday is the big one. I'm excited to do that video, but it is the preparation for June Waffle. So stay tuned, make sure you are subscribed and notifications on for all of those. But I'll get this white finished. I may or may not get the rest of it finished. We shall see by the time it comes to next week's WIP and Chat. Though the video of me kitting up the big one is this week, so maybe I'll do some work on my big one on next week's WIP and Chat. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.